Today I'm going to be taking apart the Seiki Digital 39-inch 4K screen. I'm a massive high resolution fan, as maybe some of you know, and these just dropped in price on Amazon a couple of days ago. I'm based in Australia, obviously, and you can't buy these off the shelf or through anyone here, so I ordered it through Amazon. Amazon's normal price is $699. They had it on special for I think about 30% off, so I got it for about $450. It was about $170 shipping to Australia, which isn't too bad. So the total price came in at about $750 shipped to my door. It's pretty good shipping, pretty quick. I ordered it on I think Wednesday afternoon Australian time, and I received it this morning. And today's Tuesday, so not even a week, which is pretty good getting up to Christmas and all the Black Friday sales and stuff like that. The Seiki digital display that we have here is obviously the 39-inch version. So we've got 3840 by 2160 resolution. The big show-stopping problem here is that we are limited to 30 hertz. Normally I wouldn't touch something like this. Normally I would steer clear of buying anything that had less than 60 hertz or anything that really had less than 120 hertz. But obviously you want resolution over refresh rate. I run a bunch of Zeus monitors from 2560 by 1440, and they're 27-inch panels with 60 hertz, but they're overclocked to 85, so they're not actually too bad for first-person shooters. This is going to be just a pure, just for me to run 4K benchmarks and see how games scale between 1440p, 4K, and then 7860 by 1440. And I'm just going to mainly use it just as a desktop screen. Just because of the resolution. So I write a lot, obviously working for TweetTown. I have tons of Chrome windows open and stuff like that. So I'm going to be using this just purely as a workhorse kind of screen. It's just going to literally sit here. I'm going to put a 27-inch 1080p 120 hertz screen next to it, or maybe one of my 1440p screens. Use that as the gaming monitor. And then this is going to be a Battlefield 4 second screen for a map. So just a massive 39-inch map. Now the benefit this screen does is 120 hertz. You can do 120 hertz at 1920 by 1080. I've heard that you need to do a firmware upgrade out of the box. That's not too much of a hassle to do, but it's something that you have to think about. So this monitor, I'm not going to be using out of the box. I'm going to be just opening it here quickly, and then I'm going to maybe take a couple of days, maybe a week with it, and just see how I go. And just do some testing with games and just general use for my week of work. And then I'm going to test gaming at 1080p at 120 hertz. So let's start opening them. The other downside to this screen, on top of the 30 hertz issue, is that it's limited to just HDMI. So you've got a HDMI cable in the box, which is good for that. Obviously, even for that price, I would have not expected a HDMI cable in the box. So a little gift there. But it does not support anything else, so I'm disappointed. All of my panels that I have here in my office now are all DisplayPort, and I don't use anything HDMI apart from TVs and stuff like that now. So there's one thing you've got to be careful of, is you can't just go and buy the screen, but virtually all video cards and motherboards these days have HDMI out. So it's not like you're gonna be losing out there. Let's open it up and see what we have inside. My box is a bit damaged. I don't know if that was during or before delivery. I have a big dent on the front, also on the rear. So we'll see how things go once I take it out of the box. That is a bit wide. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this all into the camera. So just bear with me for a sec. So you get a remote control. So this is just a standard remote control, because it is pretty much a TV. And this will go into this once we've got it set up. But it's pretty cool to have a remote for a screen instead of just having the panels or the touch buttons on the side. Just take it out now. Might try and flip it over, maybe. Maybe not, a little bit easier. It isn't too heavy. I thought 39-inch would have been heavy. I had a 30-inch a couple of years ago, a 1600p panel from HP, the LP3065. I used to competitively game back in those days, and I used that as my main display. But the response time on those kinds of screens, it just wasn't good enough. So over the years, I moved to 120 hertz to a Samsung 2233RZ. That was a, what was that, 22-inch panel, sorry, with 1680 by 1050, and then full HD era came through with 120 hertz, and now we have obviously 1440p has been pushed through nice and cheap, and now you've also got 4K. So I'm just going to try and take this out of the box. It is a bit of a hassle, but I expected this much with a cheap screen. I'm not going to complain. Just get it out of the box. We've got the stand here. So this is obviously the stand that you're going to be using with the screen. It feels pretty sturdy out of the box. It was a bit ghetto, getting a bit of a piece there. Oh, I think that's actually fallen off. Yeah, I think that's actually fallen off of my screen. That shouldn't be too bad. We'll see how that goes. But that looks like it's the bottom. A bit of a gloss there, and you've got some rubber, decent pads there that you can probably make out maybe. Yep, not too bad. It's not going to move. The screen itself is going to be the big question. So you got a manual here. I don't know what that's really going to tell you. Probably just a run through of the user interface on the screen. You've also got some mounting screws, which is what's going to be used on the screen on the base that I just showed you with the 5 holes there. You've also got 2 AAA batteries for the remote control, and also a the Ultra HD capable HDMI cable. Okay. I wish there was a hand on the back of the screen, but there's not. Can't do anything about that. So I'm just going to put this on the floor, take it out, and throw it on the desk. Again, it's not too heavy. As you can see here, I'm not the most muscular guy, but I'm able to hold it with one arm without a problem. And it's not too heavy. So while I've got the video here, I'm going to open this panel, and we are going to check out how we can actually attach it. So I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to cut this short. I'm just going to do it, add this as the quick unboxing, and then I'll add something else in a couple of days. So you've got here, like I said, 3840 by 2160, 39-inch, 30 hertz. Before you buy the screen, 30 hertz. That's the biggest asterisk I could say to anyone. 30 hertz is going to be a big problem. Even moving things around in Windows, I think that you're going to see, from what I've read as well, you'll see the Windows user interface won't be as smooth as most other screens at 60 hertz that you might be used to. Moving windows around, they're all going to be lagging, so you're going to get that judder. But for me, I just have panels open, so I just have Chrome window, 1 or 2 Chrome windows. I'm not going to notice this kind of stuff. If you're playing games, of course you will, but that's to be expected. I don't think you're going to be able to get away with anything less. So this is what we've got here. It's a Seiki Digital 39-inch 4K panel. More specifically, if you really want to Google the model number, it's the SE39UY04. They've gone back up in price on Amazon, back up to $649. You're only saving $50, unfortunately. But there is supposedly a new model coming out in January that will have DisplayPort compatibility and maybe 60 hertz. So if you want to wait, you should wait. But obviously, I got this because it was just super cheap. So I'm gonna set this up now, and then I will attach another video just below this, and we'll just go through the just the various inputs and how my experience is going to be with this, because I don't think this is going to be that easy. I don't like the fact of being able or having to use a screwdriver, like having the screws there. But again, for under $500 for a 39-inch 4K, those kind of bad feelings and bad thoughts about it, they're negated with that. Like you're able to actually benefit from having a 4K panel for under $500. So there'll be another video under this, and we'll check out the inputs.